A few years ago, I was broke, exhausted, and questioning every life decision that had led up to that point. Fast forward to today, and I've made over $6 million in real estate without putting a single dollar of my own money down and without owning a single property. Every month, I get paid $160,000 from 17 properties that I do not own. No mortgages, no tenants calling me about clogged toilets, no taking on 6 figures of debt to build equity over time. Just straight up cash flow. I already know what you're thinking.
That's impossible. If it were that easy, everyone would do it. This dude's just trying to sell me something.
And I get it. Sounds too good to be true, right?
Wrong.
But here's where you've been lied to your whole life. People assume the only way to make money in real estate is to own the real estate. Buy properties, flip houses, develop apartments, become the next Donald Trump minus the hair.
Wrong.
But what if I told you that the biggest players in real estate don't even own real estate?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Look at Airbnb, for example. An $80 billion company. You know how many properties they own? 0. They don't buy houses. They don't take out massive loans. They don't deal with tenants wrecking their carpets. They built a system that profits off of other people's real estate. And the best part, you don't need to be a billion-dollar tech company to do the exact same thing. You don't need investors. You don't need perfect credit. You don't even need experience. You just need to stop thinking like a traditional real estate investor and start thinking like a business owner. And that's exactly what I did. Now let me introduce to you a super smart, incredibly good-looking, borderline jacked, wildly charismatic dude who figured it all out. Oh wait, that's me. I know. It sounds ridiculous, but this is hiding in plain sight.
Because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
And odds are you've stayed in an Airbnb before, right? Well, congratulations. You've already made someone like me a ton of money.
Congratulations.
And you just didn't realize it. I actually stay in Airbnbs every time I travel. And why? Because hotels suck. I'm not trying to pay $300 a night for a room the size of a shoebox, a mattress that feels like medieval torture device, and a TV that only plays CNN and Nickelodeon. Meanwhile, there's an Airbnb down the street that's twice the size, has an actual kitchen, and doesn't charge me $12 for a bottle of water.
I like money.
It's not even close. Let's talk about how I accidentally stumbled into this business and made millions.
Money.
A few years back, I was in the military grinding away in a 90-hour-a-week job that made me question all of my life choices daily. I broke my ankle, ended up in a body ridden in arthritis, and somehow found myself putting out fires, stopping floods, and dealing with missile scares. And the craziest part, I didn't even have to step foot in a war zone for all this to happen. Meanwhile, back on the ship, the living conditions were so horrifically disgusting that I made an executive decision to sleep in the backseat of my truck. Yes, my literal truck. You know your job sucks when you'd rather curl up in the backseat like a raccoon than go to your assigned living quarters. I knew I needed a way out, so I started trying every side hustle imaginable. Started a social media marketing agency, and I still have the Instagram account for it. I just never post anymore. Tried day trading, was very, very good at losing money. Dabbled in crypto, bought at the top, sold at the bottom, classic. Tried dropshipping, spent more on Facebook ads than I made in sales. Even tinted car windows for a bit, realized I had zero patience for detailed work. And after failing at basically everything, I was convinced that I was just built to work a miserable job forever. Then one day I got invited to this military networking event at a house that looked like something straight out of a movie. Massive pool, luxury furniture, clean as hell. The kind of place where you expect some rich dude in a robe to walk out with a cigar and start talking about his investment portfolio. I assumed some CEO owned it.
Nope.
It was an Airbnb. And that's when my brain broke. I started running the numbers, and they were charging $540 a night, and the property is rented for $3,500 a month. The person running it as an Airbnb was renting it, and it was fully booked for the next 2.5 months. After expenses, this guy running it was clearing $10,000 a month in profit on a property he didn't even own. And at the moment, I realized I'd been playing the game entirely wrong my whole life. I didn't need to own real estate. I just needed to control the real estate. So I started calling landlords, pitching them on this idea, and getting rejected over and over again. They didn't trust me, thought it was a scam, or just weren't interested. Until finally, one landlord actually listened. And here's what I told him. Traditional tenants are a nightmare. They don't clean, they damage the property, they don't pay rent on time, and evictions are a legal disaster. I pitched him a better deal. I told him I'd deep clean the place multiple times a week, have a handyman on call 24/7, and sign a long-term lease. So no vacancies, no tenant drama. Oh, and I pay extra rent. And suddenly, he was interested.
Money!
And once I got my first landlord on board, it was game over. Now, of course, I was broke as hell, so I had to figure out how to actually fund this. So I did what any responsible financial expert would do. I maxed out my personal credit card. Would I recommend that?
Yes! Yes!
Absolutely not.
No! No!
What I should have done, and what I teach my students to do now, is use 0% interest business credit, which with an LLC and a 680 plus credit score, you can get business credit cards with 0% interest for 12 to 18 months.
That's pretty good.
That means you can furnish an entire property without spending a single dollar of your own money.
Your genius is showing.
Within a year, I had done this and generated $400,000 in revenue. Fast forward to today, and I've made $6 million total and $160,000 a month at a 60% profit. Since then, I've retired my wife, built a community of people running the same business, and helped hundreds, if not thousands, quit their jobs and build real financial freedom. And now I'm giving you the entire blueprint for free. No gatekeeping, no BS, just the exact system I use to get rich, renting other people's houses. And if you're sick of working a job you hate, or if you just want extra income, or if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you want a way out, this is it. Drop a comment, DM me on Instagram. And if you want to see the exact process and see some real results of the process aside from my own, check out the video down below in the description. This business changed my life. Now it's your turn. Peace.